Alright, so I'm back in the garage. Real shocker there, right? I'm not gonna lie, that ride yesterday, my buddy Ray's car was pretty motivational, so it's actually Canada Day today, eh? So I got the whole day to work on the car. All the parts stores are closed, story of my life, but I don't know, start doing some wiring, stuff like that. I got a miscellaneous box of V-belts. I'm hoping I can figure one out to fit on the car. I don't know, do a little wiring, maybe even get it to run off the key. We'll see where the day takes us, or I might do something completely different. But I'll keep filming. You guys will follow along and silently judge me. So here's what I started working on. Just that mess of wiring. So when I originally did it, I had on this side was all going to be like the front clip stuff, and coming through here was going to be the motor. So it's all gone across. I had a little drop post. This is the tack wire. I'll go over the other side there. And then so the wires go here, run around the frame, under the exhaust, and out here. These four wires are signal and park lights. This mess is headlight high beams. There's two left over. One's horn and one's electric fan. So that's pretty much all that's going to go there. I'm going to run it how I want it. And then once I'm kind of happy with it, I'll end up getting some sort of connector, chop them, put them all together, and then I can just have it quick connect. On the other side here is all the stuff for the alternator and starter. So it's pretty simple. I got a drop out for the coil, and then this is where it splits off for the accelerator wire and the power wire and all that for the alternator, and then just one wire goes down, which will be right here, which is going to go to the starter. So pretty simple stuff. So I'm just going to start terminating all those ends, putting them on. I use just the factory, whatever it is, little clips there to hold it all together. So that should be done under the hood, should be wired, and then I can start getting under the dash. And maybe I can, hot wire up the starter switch there and actually have it turn with the key. Unfortunately, holiday, I can't find a belt that's the right size. So that's a bit of a pain in the ass. I was hoping I could do that, and I could actually run the thing and it wouldn't overheat. But I'll keep getting these things kind of done and show you how it turns out. Alright, I haven't really been filming there because I've been doing just a lot of tedious work. So lots of wiring. So I found some looming I had, so I, loomed the whole thing. This is all the headlights and everything. I had broken up originally, so that was headlights. That was from the motor, so got that all dealt with. On this side is park lights, turn signals, headlight high beam, and across the same. Somewhere in around here, I'll put in some sort of quick connect. But for right now, let's get it all going. The motor, I just kind of cobbled together a fuel system. I gotta get some more different kind of fancier things. I am getting a belt for it. My old man had one, so I borrowed it from him, put that on there. I then got the wiring for that all dealt with, the coil, the starter, a few things like that. And just hanging down here is the tack wire, so I'll have to hook that up when I have a tack. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at there. The motor is pretty much wired up, ready to go. I filled it full of water, nothing leaked on the ground. That was nice. I'm moving into the car itself. I've been pulling some wires out of this rat's nest, because there's all sorts of options I'm not going to use. Power antenna, wipers, it's all set up for electric gauges and stuff, so I'm not going to use any of that. So it just has a bunch of wires I don't want under the dash, so I'm pulling those out one at a time, and then I'm going to find out what wires control the starter and the coil and everything. So I'll be back once that's all figured out. I'm going to roll it over with the coil unplugged, see if I have any fuel leaks, and then crank, vroom. Alright, so there's a bunch of screwing around here. I pulled some wires out I didn't need. I managed to get everything wired up to the ignition switch so it works. I managed to roll it over a few times with the coil unplugged. Found a few fuel leaks, but I got those all fixed up. Everything seems like it's ready to go. There's water in it. So hopefully I'll just be able to kind of crank over one-handed and it will start. just like that, it runs. That's a pretty big moment. I'm pretty stoked about it. So I got a pile of wiring to kind of go through under the dash, but I think that's what I'm going to end today. Tomorrow I want to put brake fluid in it. I got to get some transmission oil, put that in there, and then I'll be able to make sure the transmission works. So I still got to hook up the shift linkage. If I get that going, make the brakes work, make sure it has all the gears in the transmission, because it's a miscellaneous trans I don't know anything about. But at least at that point, it could be taken around the block, so...
Or pushed around the block.
Thank you. That's where I'm leaving it today. Be back at it tomorrow, we'll do some brakes, transmission stuff, and yeah, push it around the block. Well, what's going on, guys? Next day. So, plan tonight, just got off work, I gotta rerun this transmission shifter, so it's actually at the transmission, and hook it all up and stuff. I got brake fluid. I'm gonna try and bleed the brakes and hopefully not have any leaks. Got some vacuum lines, so I'm gonna mess around with the carburetors, and I was gonna do a little bit to the fuel lines, rerun a few of those things. Then I just got a bunch of fluids. I got rear end gear oil, I got transmission oil, so I'm hoping I'm gonna be able to run it, put it in gear, see if the brakes work. That'll be sweet. See if it has gears, also sweet. And then the whole front end, I gotta go around. I put it all together, but I didn't tighten anything and cotter pin it because I was worried these big block springs are going to be too strong and have no suspension, but it actually seems like it's pretty good. So yeah, that should be that. I'm hoping by the end of the night I should be able to have it, you know, kind of running and driving with brakes and a few things like that, and be able to drop it on the ground and maybe take it for a test drive in the next video. We'll see what happens. So, but I'll get started on this and bring you all back. Alright, things went a little sideways. I was messing with the brakes a little bit, started filling up the master, and it dumped fluid on one of the lines, so I had to reflare it, so that was a pain. Otherwise, underneath, I managed to get that redone. Nothing like doing stuff twice. But I also got in the transmission cross members all properly done. I double checked all the body bolts. So I had to reflare that line there, so I redid that. Otherwise, underneath here, I'm going to pull the wheels and double check all the front end stuff because there's no cotter pins in it, so I'll tighten everything up, cotter pin it, and it'll be done. I got the linkage all hooked up, went through the gears, so everything works there. I got to put some bolts on the motor mounts, and I think that's it. I'm just going to get everything once over under here, and it should be able to come down after I bleed the brakes. Well, as per usual, nothing went easy. A couple different brake leaks, screwing around with that, bleeding the master cylinder. But I got the brakes dealt with. I got to adjust the rear shoes. They're still not 100%. Then I started going through the front end and just double checking all the tie rods, upper lower ball joints, the whole steering stuff, tightening it and cotter pinning it. So it's dark out. I've had enough and out here all evening after work. So tomorrow I'm gonna move the jack stands under the control arms so then I can get the weight on it and I can tighten up all the bushings, upper, lower, give everything a once over. I gotta tighten up the tie rod ends, make sure that's accurate. And then the front end should be tight, put the wheels back on, and that's done. Pull the rear wheels, go through all that. I did have it running enough though. I put it in reverse and drive, so that moves. So that was good. The transmission at least has 2 gears. So that's a win. And then I got a few little things I want to do, like I said, with the fuel system, stuff like that. But overall, it's there. So I'm hoping by the end of the day tomorrow, it'll be basically ready for a test drive with a pile of wires. It'll just obviously have ignition and that's it. But it'll have, oh, and I got to do some sort of throttle cable, cause that's, or a bar, because that's pretty important for driving. So getting there, step by step. Like I said, I'm done for tonight. I didn't do a whole lot of filming because it was a bunch of boring stuff. But I'll be back at it tomorrow and hopefully a lot more progress. What's going on, dude? So next day, working in the garage. I got the tires done. I still got them in the truck. But I got to just double check all the front end stuff. I got a few more things to do there. Pull the rear wheels off and adjust the brakes. I got some lug nuts and washers and stuff. Put the front wheels on. What else I got going on? I'm forgetting, but I'm sure there's some other stuff. Oh, I got a vacuum plate for the carburetor, so I can do that. Hook up a bunch of stuff there, maybe try out the wipers, you know, yada yada yada. But I'm gonna get to it, probably start cleaning out because it's all full of junk under the car, and yeah, get the wheels on. I adjusted the brakes, still a little soft. I probably got to bleed them again. I ended up putting the wiper motor in just cause, but I want to start this thing and see if the transmission goes in and out of gear. At least now I have 2 gears, so that's good. Well, that's really good actually. So I'm back to the front now. So I gotta put the wiper stuff in, make sure that works. I ended up buying this carb plate. It has a little vacuum nipple in it, so I'll pull these carburetors off, slap that down. A little bit I want to do the fuel system, and like I said, get to the front end. So I'll check back and forth a few times here, but I'm hoping I'll be able to get this thing down the wheels tonight. Okay, so I'm back. So put the spacer on. Looks a little goofy with the one carburetor higher. I don't know if I'm going to leave it like that. I don't know if it makes any difference. Maybe I should Google that. But anyways, I managed to get the little vacuum line at the back. So I split it off. So one goes over down to the transmission. I don't know what it is. And the other one goes around to the wiper motor. So wiper motor is real simple on this thing. It's vacuum operated, and it's just a cable. And you notice this little kind of black piece moves. It's literally a little crank. It's actually kind of funny. So you just simply turn it to the right, and it ends up pushing this piece in, which I guess makes the vacuum work. So I'm going to see if this thing works. So we'll fire it up and cross our fingers. Check that out. So just that easy. I'll see if we can crank them off. Yeah. Huh. Well, that's pretty simple. I guess the more you crank it, the faster it goes. I'm actually not really too sure. I guess it must just literally open up this, you know, somehow into the vacuum and let more and more vacuum in. So the thing being a stock motor has decent vacuum, so it goes. I've heard under wide open throttle and all that, they kind of stop and screw around, but they seem to work. Just barely fits. I'm glad without moving the motor ahead, there's no way that would have fit, and that would have been a real pain, so I have to have those so it passes our inspection. So that worked out pretty good. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked on that actually. I was really worried about that. So now I'll just go under there, double check everything. One last time the tie rods. Then I got to put the weight on the actual control arms so I can do all the bushings. Bang the tires on, give it a quick once over underneath again. But yeah, I think we're getting to the end where this thing might actually move under its own power. That's pretty exciting. Alright guys, so I got the cars on stands there on the suspension now instead of on the frame. Actually leveled the car out in the back suspension, looks way better. So now with these bushings, I've actually already torqued them down. But so what you want to do is you want to have it in the travel, like in the center of the travel, so that's why you want the weight on the suspension. And then you just tighten these up, and basically it's just compressing this little rubber bushing, so front and back and top and bottom. So I googled it, the top was like 45, bottom was 55, so I torqued those down. This one was a bit of a pain, so I just kind of guessed with the wrench, but I'm sure it's fine. I ended up cobbling together. I meant to grab a piece of rod or something. All I had was some all-thread rod, so I just welded something kind of janky together. But the throttle pedal works. So I'm going to put the wheels on, drop this thing down, clean some stuff up, and see if I can back it out of the garage on its own power for the first time in 8 or 9 or 10 months, wherever it's been. And maybe clean up in here a little bit. So I'll bring you back. Either it'll be backing out or I'll be angry. Alright boys, so car's on the ground. It actually settled out really well. I was a little worried that the rear suspension was going to be all jacked up, but it sits pretty decent. So I got the front clips just sitting on there, trunk's half open with the battery cable loose, fire extinguisher's out. So yeah, I'm just gonna idle it back and double check the e-brake works, so hopefully I don't end up in the creek or smashing the Chevelle or something. So keep your fingers crossed for me.
A car! It runs! It drove! Nobody died!
Did some? Oh, it's kind of anticlimactic. Just backed out. No fire, no problems.
How do you feel? You're happy, a loser.
Pretty stoked on it. Quit it.
Why? They should see that your happiness.
Obviously, someone to give me the magic stamp so I can insure it.
He's pretty excited about this car right now. It's been a long time since I've seen all of you friends, and I got a new sticker for my car, so I thought I would show you my new sticker for my car. It's a very deep personal sticker because my favorite song to do at karaoke is No Scrubs by TLC. And now I have this fun sticker. I know you all were dying to see what stickers have now been added to the Kia. So as I get more, I'll continue to show you more. Bye, friends.
Alright guys, I'm actually standing in an empty garage, first time in quite a while. So I actually just hosed on the floor because it was so trashed. But yeah, that's the car. It's out, it's done. Well, it's out of the garage, not done. But I think that's it for me tonight. I'm going to start editing this video, so make sure you subscribe to the channel and like it and all sorts of good things like that. And I hope this will be out tomorrow, which will be the 4th. So all my American buddies, happy 4th of July, and tell your friends about this sucker. Alright guys, I'll see you on the next one.